Let's start again, shall we? Welcome to the Monday Live. And we're into February. And what that means is that in theory, we're out of doubling. But we're not. I want you to carry on doubling. Remember, double annually is the way we start the year, but I want you to keep doubling if you can, please. So we're reversing this February. We are reversing. Yeah, we haven't done one on reverses. Of course, they come up in certain seminars, but it's nice to have one on reversing itself. And we've got our usual suspects. We are, what are we doing? We'll have the 5-level decision, which is actually from the teams event from last week. And then we'll have the bidding quiz at the end, obviously the little seminar. In terms of events, we've got lots of events. You'll have seen those scrolling through at the start. In fact, next week things are slightly different. Next week the Monday Live is recorded because I'm in Devon. Now, we were due to be at Two Bridges for a gourmet event. We are now going to its sister hotel in the Bedford Hotel, which is quite exciting, really, in Tavistock. And I think there's still a room left. So if you are interested, I think there's a double room or a twin room left. So if you're interested in coming on Monday to Wednesday, please do. It means basically there's a Monday recorded next week and a Thursday teams of next week. Don't forget, normal this week, Wednesday and Friday as usual for the members. But I've got an exciting announcement. We have our lead quizzes here, and the winners on the lead quizzes are there. And it was so close. Patricia got the highest aggregate score, but I think she got a couple of the last ones wrong, which allowed Alex Scott to take over on the best average score, as it were, of people who've done at least 40 of the quizzes. So well done, Alexander Scott, or Alex Scott. Patricia McDowell, well done as well, and Shirley as well. So those three get the prizes. Alex gets the cup, and they all get their I think a sort of 2-month subscription, 1-month subscription, etc., free of charge. So well done to all three of those. Similarly put to the prize winners of last year. Different top, shall we say, but Patricia again in the top 3 there. So brilliant effort from everybody. And of course, it all starts again this week. You will now get 52, which lead us to next year's prize winners. So well done, as I say, to those there. Having to read my mind and work out what the best lead is, etc., etc. And of course, it gets you a chance to play in the prize teams as well if you fancy that. So good fun, I hope. And I still have my mind operating as I go through each of the hands I do, and I think, that would make a good lead quiz. Including sometimes from the teams and things like that, when you think, gosh, that's a really hard lead. Okay, as I say, the 5-level decisions from the teams. So many different things going on in terms of events, whether it's hotels abroad or hotels in the UK. So we'll look at some of those as well. Let's look at the 5-level decision first. Here you go. So as I say, this one is from the teams. I think it's a rather interesting one. So let's just remind ourselves how the auction went on the hand. You decided to open a diamond, which I think is reasonable. It is a strong hand. It went 2 hearts. Oh, just pretend you haven't seen that. I'm going to restart that because I do need to control West. I had just slightly forgotten that. Okay, so this is the way it went at the table. A diamond, 2 hearts, double, 4 hearts, and it's your bid. Okay, a diamond, 2 hearts, double, 4 hearts. You've seen a bid there, but imagine this is the way the auction went, and this is exactly how it went at the table. A diamond, 2 hearts, double from partner, 4 hearts, and it's your turn to bid. And I think it's a tricky one. Certainly, yeah, well, we'll have a look. We'll have a look at it in a moment. So we'll come back to that after the seminar, but have a think about it now. So a diamond from you, 2 hearts, double, negative double, of course, 4 hearts. Okay. So, what else is there? Well, in terms of our holidays abroad, we have a nice batch of them. We've got Greece, where I'm going in October. I'm going to Tenerife in March, which is full up. But we've got Greece for a week in October to a 5-star hotel there. Croatia, you can go for 14 nights, but there's also a 7-night chance as well. So bear that in mind. You've still got the offer of 7 now. So it's 7 or 14 nights in Croatia, and our various cruises and things like that. And I went to Portugal last year, and it was lovely, actually. We really enjoyed it. We've moved it forward to September, so the weather should be very comfortable then. I mean, it was really comfortable in October, I have to say. We really enjoyed it, and in fact the family did as well afterwards, because we had an extended stay there. I think I was there for 2 weeks and a day or so. So it's in September this year for you, and I think you'll enjoy that with Fran and Graham leading it there, who were with me last year and enjoyed it then as well. So, but lots of options, I have to say. What we're doing though, I'm going to do and head off to reversing here. So let's go. So reverses. Well, the first and foremost, it's imperative to remember the way our system works. If I open a suit and partner responds in a new suit, then we guarantee that we will bid again. Okay, so I open a heart, partner bids a spade. I am guaranteeing a bid, assuming my partner isn't a passed hand. Okay, so that's an important part of our system because we make a plan. Okay, and there are generally 3 options. You either support the responder's bid, generally with 4 cards. We will have a little look at the odd time when we'll do it on 3 cards next week, actually. But this, again, I'm taking from the big seminar on the site. Balanced, here, you're going to rebid with your no trump table. You've made a plan if you're balanced. Does that make sense? So supporting, again, you've got a plan. Balanced, you've got a plan. Unbalanced, that's what we're going to be talking about. So hopefully you know your system. If it goes a club, a heart, and you've got 4 hearts, you're going to use the losing trick count or use the point count to bid what you're going to do. You've got a 4-4-3-2 hand, you open a club, partner bids a heart, you're going to rebid no trumps, let's say. 15 to 17, 18 to 19. It's the unbalanced hands where you've got 2 suits and you haven't got support. What do you do? Okay, well, generally what we do is we try to categorize our hand. Is it weak, or at least in the weaker side of opening? Remember, you're an opening hand, so you're sort of saying, partner, unless you've got a bit of strength, I think part score is high enough with 12 to 16. With 16 to 19, you're saying to partner, do you know, even if you are quite weak, we might have game on. You will notice that 16 is on both sides of the equation, and there's a good reason for that. We have these cusp values. It's like responding to 1 no trump with 12 points. If you're responding to a weak no trump with 12 points, you're in the middle, I'm afraid. You either go for game or you invite, but you could do either one depending on how good. And 16 is the same. Whenever I pick up a 16 count, I tend, and I'm thinking of opening, I'm going to try and define it for myself. Do I think, am I going to plan to do this, or am I going to plan to do that? And it's really important that. Okay, so let's look up. Right, let's put a couple of sequences here. Imagine the bidding started 1 club, 1 spade. Okay, what I want you to do is put your hand in one of two categories, the weaker side of this screen or the stronger side of this screen. And what we are going to do is we put up a barrier between the two sides. And the barrier is 2 of your first bid suit. Now I will define this again in a moment to make it precise to describe what a reverse is, but I want you to imagine that there is a barrier in the middle of this screen, and that is 2 of your first bid suits. So here you've opened 1 club, 2 clubs is the barrier. Any bids below that show weaker hands. Any bids above the barrier in a new suit are strong and forcing. Okay, big difference. So 2 clubs, of course, is the barrier. So on the left hand side we only have 2 clubs, amazingly. So this is where sometimes your partner responds in the wrong suit for you and you're forced to rebid a suit. Can be tricky. 2 diamonds and 2 hearts are on the right hand side here, and those of course are what we call the reverse bids, where you bid a suit and then you bid higher than that suit at the 2 level. So if you bid 1 diamond and you follow it by 2 clubs, you are bidding underneath your first bid suit, and that works very nice. We're bidding them in the normal order, as it were, diamonds and then clubs. If you reverse the order, 1 club followed by 2 diamonds, you are showing strength, and that is why we call it a reverse bid. The other bids, well, a jump to 3 clubs, of course, would be on the strong side. Remember, supporting bids are not the same. So 2 spades is a supporting bid of 1 spade. Partner, I've got a minimum opener, but I like your spades. 3 spades would be saying, partner, I like your spades, but I've got a stronger hand. Okay, those are very different. Okay, let's do another one before we define things precisely. Imagine the auction went 1 heart, 2 clubs here. Once again, we'll put a barrier up. Okay, the barrier this time, of course, is 2 hearts. So 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, and below are weak bids. And what's important here is when I put 2 diamonds and 2 hearts up, they both show the same strength. So don't feel that 1 heart followed by 2 hearts is any weaker than 1 heart followed by 2 diamonds. If it's at 2 hearts or below, they both show the weaker side of the category, the weaker category of hands. They can still be on a sort of mediocre or bad 16. So don't feel you're saying, oh, partner, this is the end of the world kind of thing. I'm very super weak, but it will include, let's be honest, I've got 12 to 16. I know you well enough in this new style of bidding that we'll often have a lot of 11s in there as well. So you do have to bear in mind it's quite a broad category. What you're really saying is, partner, you know, unless you've got 11 or more, game might be beyond us, but a 2 club response, of course, is showing 10 or more points. So that's interesting. Okay, but of course we can put them higher. 2 spades would be a reverse bid. You've bid hearts first and then bid above it to 2 spades. Remember, it's got to be above the 2 level though. Any bids at the 1 level are non-forcing and non-strong. A jump to 3 diamonds, that's called a jump reverse. That's a pretty strong bid. Okay, a jump switch. And of course you've got 3 hearts, a jump of your own suit, and the supporting bids, once again, those are not categorized as strong or weak. They are supporting bids, limit bids, using the losing trick counter, the point counter, etc. So those are 2 simple layouts where we've got a barrier down the middle. So let's define that reverse. A reverse bid is a rebid in a new suit at the 2 level above your first bid suit. Okay, in a suit that ranks above your first bid suit. Partner might be weak And the weakest thing your partner can do is go back to your first bid suit. But you are forcing them to go back to the 3 level. Does that make sense? So 1 heart, 2 clubs from your partner, 2 spades. It's more pertinent when it's at the 1 level, where partner's only shown you 6 points. So imagine it goes 1 club, 1 spade from partner, 2 hearts from me. Your partner's sitting with just 6 points. His weakest bid is to go back to clubs, but that makes him go to 3 clubs. So if you've only got 12 points and he's got 6, that's 18, and we're playing at the 3 level, and perhaps not a particularly good fit. So you do need to be strong to force your partner to the 3 level, and that is why you need a good 16 or more. It is a forcing bid. It forces your partner to bid. Really important that if you trust each other, you don't need to make a jump wee bid to force the auction. You can make a reverse bid. Okay, partner must bid again. Okay, again, obviously partnership trust is involved, but hey, let's have a look. Okay, so let's just look at some of these hands, nice and straightforward. A lot of these will be, but just to remind ourselves. Remember, this is from the big seminar. Those of you who are members, etc., will get the chance to look at the extended version. 1 spade, 2 clubs, and obviously we can bid 2 hearts. That is underneath our barrier. Okay, underneath our barrier. As it happens, a new suit after a 2-level response is forcing as well, because partner has shown 10 or more points and should either go back to 2 spades or go to 2 no trumps. Remember, a 2-level response is very different, so here you're in a relatively comfortable place. Okay, what about this? It goes a heart. Now, interestingly, when you open the bidding here, you should be making a plan. So here for me, I think to myself, well, if partner responds a spade, I'm going to support spades. If partner responds clubs, I cannot show my spades, because that would be game forcing reverse. Remember, 1 heart, 2 clubs. If I show 16 plus, opposite a 2-level response, we are forced to game. So I'm not going to rebid 2 spades with this hand. I'm planning that at the start. Over a 2 diamond response, it's up to you. You might choose to respond 3 diamonds or rebid 3 diamonds, or you might rebid 2 hearts. That's very much up to you. But over 2 clubs here, you do not have the option of bidding 2 spades. That would be game forcing, and some of the hands I show in the seminar get us to a slam when both of us show 16. So you've got to trust each other there. What's interesting here is because partner has skipped out spades, we haven't been able to bid spades. So remember, when you open 1 heart and rebid 2 hearts, you are not promising 6. It would be lovely if you could promise 6, but in any system you can't do it, because you're not allowed to reverse without the required strength. Does that make sense here? So 1 heart, 2 clubs, I don't have the money, as it were, to bid 2 spades, so I'm forced to bid 2 hearts, and it could be 5 to the jack. So do not worry about rebidding a major with 5. Okay, it is normal bridge. Okay, here you're not allowed to bid 2 spades, because that would show your 16 points. It would be above your barrier. Okay, of course, if we make the hand stronger, 1 spade, 2 clubs. Here, as I say, 2 hearts is forcing, but with such a powerful hand, 3 hearts is a sensible bid. It gets your hand off your chest. It says, partner, look, if you've got 10, I think I've got the equivalent of 18 or 19 here. Because remember, ace, king, queen to 5, ace, king, queen to 4. I'm pretty excited with that hand. So I'm thinking of a slam, let alone game here. So the jump bid there is trying to get partner excited to go along with you. If you've got any kind of fit, then a slam may well be on. Okay, what's interesting is, though, if we switch the suits around in the reverse order, because we're so powerful, we are actually going to plan to reverse. Okay, so you open a heart, it goes 2 clubs, and 2 spades is enough. We do not need to jump. And that's crucial because you want the space to explore for slam. So if partner bids 3 hearts here, for example, you've agreed it, you could maybe make a cubit if you want on the next round, which is really helpful. Whereas if you jump to 3 spades, partner would have to bid 4 hearts to support hearts. Okay, so you don't need to go flying upwards. However, it is so important to remember that reverse bidding is only done when you happen to have the suits in this order. You do not change the suit you open with. You always open in your longest suit. The only exceptions tend to be sometimes when you have a 6-5 hand. Very unusual. With a 6-5 hand, you may choose sometimes, because of the reversing rules, etc., to open a different suit. But for the most part, almost always, we always open our longest suit. And then we have our options. As we saw when we had spades and hearts, we were able to bid 1 spade, 2 hearts quite happily. Here, with the strength in your hand, you're able to bid 1 heart followed by 2 spades. Okay, but you're always opening your longer hearts first. When you've got 16 points, you've got options, and what I want you to do is define the hand in your mind. Okay, what do you think about these 2 hands? They're not playing with each other, I should mention. What I want you to do is compare them. And you might look at the hands on the left and think, actually, I've got a bit of distribution. I've got a 10-9, 2 gorgeous suits. I think describing this hand by opening 1 heart and rebidding 2 spades on the left is quite a good description. I quite like reversing with that hand. Whereas the hand on the right, with isolated high cards in 3 of the suits, is looking a little bit less like a reversing hand. Perhaps I might choose to rebid no trumps with that hand. Okay, so the hand on the left, I think, is the stronger of the 2 in terms of suits to be bid, whereas the hand on the right without 10s and 9s, but also with the doubleton, those of you who are used to that. Okay, you'll also notice that although the losing trick count isn't so good with the semi-balanced and balanced hands, but the hand on the left, the losing trick count is suggesting 5 losers. Now remember, you only use the losing trick count with generally with a fit, so you may not find you've got a fit, but if you'd love to know if you do, so bidding both suits makes sense. So you plan to reverse with that one. I think I'd probably plan for no trumps. Of course, if partner responds a spade, that's another matter. Okay, so you'd open a heart, maybe partner bids 2 clubs, and you could rebid 2 no trumps with the hand on the right. On the hand on the left, I'd open a heart. If partner bids 2 clubs, I would plan to bid 2 spades, a genuine reverse partner. I do like my suits. So obviously, as the strength goes up, you've got more options as a whole. But remember, with 16 points, I want you to try and define your hand. Is it a strong 16? Is it distributional? Or is it a weak, sort of more flattish 16? Okay, and just the last option there, 1 spade, 2 clubs, and here of course you would jump again, jumping past 2 of your bid suit to show your strength. Here that is forcing because partner has shown 10 or more points. Okay, opposite a 1 level response, the jump to 3 spades of course is non-forcing, and that's worth bearing in mind on certain hands. Okay, just a quick note, a new suit at the 3 levels. So you do not always have to say you've got a super strong hand, and that's key here, because when I jump to the 3 level, I am showing a strong hand, because let's say you don't have a fit and you've bid 3 suits. What's your partner going to bid? no trumps if he's got something in the other suit. But if you've jumped to the 3 level and he's only shown you 6 points, you could be much, much too high. Okay, so if partner responds at the 1 level, I think you need to nearly be able to guarantee game. So if it goes 1 heart, 1 spade, a jump to 3 diamonds for me is showing about 19 total points as far as I'm concerned. So you do have to have a pretty exciting hand. So what I mean is this kind of hand. Now, when we learn as a beginner, as a novice, you put all your hands in the boxes. So I do not mind the auction going 1 heart, 1 spade, jump to 3 diamonds. That's the kind of thing I'd expect a beginner to do, because they need to describe their 17 points straight away. Okay, and that's absolutely normal. But as you get more used to the game, you'll realize that not all hands can fit into neat boxes. And so here, I think you would be better off with the West hand simply rebidding either 2 diamonds, which I'm quite happy with, or 1 no trump. Basically, the advantage of 1 no trump, although you're telling a fib because you're not strictly balanced, you are at least showing your strength of 15 to 17. Okay, it's a very bare 15 to 17, although you have got 5-4. There's not a 10, 9, 8, 7 or 6 in the hand. So it's definitely bare. But 2 diamonds is equally good. It's not completely forcing, but partner will try to bid if you've changed suit most of the time. Actually, on this hand, he would pass 2 diamonds, but you'd be quite happy because you wouldn't want to go any higher. So for me, the important thing is I do not want you jumping to 3 diamonds, because can you see what partner would bid over 3 diamonds? If you jump to 3 diamonds here, I think your partner's going to bid 3 no trumps. He's got to bid, remember, because you've made a reverse bid, or you've bid above your barrier. So 3 diamonds would force him to bid, and I think he's bidding 3 no trumps, and you're miles and miles and miles away from 3 no trumps. It's not his fault though, it's your fault. So here, maybe 1 no trump is a neat way of describing your hand. I quite like it. Your partner would pass you. 1 no trump is comfortable. 2 diamonds reasonable as well. You might get a rough. I mean, it feels like 1 no trump is better, but you may scrape an extra trick in diamonds but by roughing a heart or something like that. So you might find 2 diamonds works. The key is don't over egg your hand. Now, I mean, if I gave you a bit more here, 5-5, ace king to 5. I mean, this is a nice hand. So of course I don't mind you jumping to 3 diamonds. What you're saying is, partner, look, I'm prepared to guarantee game here. If you had no fit at all, if the queen of diamonds was in the clubs, it would be pretty ugly. But you'd hope that possibly one of the suits would come in here, though. As you can see, the quality of the second suit diamonds makes it worthwhile. And when partner bids 3 no trumps, he's forced to, don't forget. Now you feel comfortable that hopefully one of your suits will make. And as you can see here, you're likely to make 9 top tricks, aren't you? 5 diamond tricks, ace king of hearts, ace of spades and ace of clubs. Remember, you're guaranteeing it. East is not feeling confident when he bids 3 no trumps. He's bidding it on the back of your bid. When dummy comes down, he feels a lot more confident. Okay, one last thing before we call it a day today, and that of course is an important one, and that is when we rebid at the 1 level. So it goes 1 club, and you've got a simple plan here. You're going to rebid 1 spade because you know that's below 2 of your first bid suit. Okay, so 1 club, 1 heart, 1 spade is not a reverse. Okay, I know you're bidding spades above clubs, but you are still at the 1 level. Really important that. Okay, so actually I love the suits like this. Bidding 1 club is perfect because you know whatever your partner bids, you'll be able to bid a spade. Remember, if partner responds to no trump, he's denying 4 spades. So over a diamond or a heart, you can rebid a spade. Over a spade, you can support. It's a lovely hand. This is what I call having your suits in the right order. So it's the kind of hand that sometimes with 11 points, I'll be happy to bid because I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm going to be able to bid both suits. Okay, so one spade is simple. So reverses only occur at the 2 level. Okay, it's not above 2 of your first bid suit. Okay. Okay, and as you can see here, it's neat. You could actually, 1 club, 1 heart, 1 spade, your partner could just leave it. Okay, it's not common to leave it, but with 2 bare aces, I like partners' choices. And if you go back, I think about 2 Greedobers. If you go a few Octobers back, we talked about when you want to be in no trumps and when you want to be in suit contracts. And with aces, you should love suit contracts. Okay, they give you control and they allow you to do X, Y, and Z. And here, the fact that you've got the 3 aces allows you, who knows, you might, on a good day, you should be able to get 2 club ruffs there in spades. And that will give you 3, 6, 8 tricks if you manage to make the 4 of spades, which you might do. So imagine, I don't know, if they don't lead a trump, let's say they lead a club, you could ruff a club, duck a diamond, and I think you might get 2 club ruffs and a diamond ruff, as well as your 6 top tricks. So you can see that 1 spade plus 2 would be a neat score. Okay, but the key is there's no reverse, so East doesn't have to bid. Okay, so let's sum up what we've said then. A reverse bid is a rebid in a new suit at the 2 level above your first bid suit. To make a reverse, you should have a good 16 or more. Remember, you are forcing your partner to bid again. And if he's only got 6 points, you need to be able to back up your bid. It is forcing, and he must bid again. Okay, they do come up quite a lot, so they are worth bearing in mind. They're really useful bids, and as long as you trust each other, then you can get some great contracts, including slams. Imagine you've got 16 points yourself and your partner makes a reverse bid. If you trust each other, you've both got 16, you're clearly in the slam zone. Okay, we're going to go to the 5 level in a moment. A quick note about Wales there, because I haven't been there for a long time. I went to Newport, which is only just in Wales, a long time ago. So this is Llandudno, so do look out for that. That's in April, and you can see that, as usual, we are dotted around the country. Whether it's at Milton Hill House there, which is a new one in just in Oxfordshire there, Denham Grove up in Lancashire. So we do our best to get around. So come and see us where you like. Okay, let's go back to this one. I think this is really tricky. It's interesting, just before we look at the 5 level decision, Alan mentioning there's some pairs who don't play reverses. I have come across that at one stage. I'm not even sure Andrew Robson wasn't trying it, but I think he might have gone back on it. Reverses are played by everybody who plays sensible bridge, and what I mean by that is essentially there is a good reason for reverses. The idea is if you bid above your 2 level, you're basically forcing the auction too high. So if you bid up there on low point counts, you will ruin the auction. It's more important to keep the auction low than it is to guarantee 6 points when you bid 6 cards when you bid 1 heart, 2 hearts. Knowing your partner has 6 hearts in that auction is worth not a huge amount. It really isn't. Whereas keeping your strengths in play is much more important and much more common as well. Okay, so this one came up. I think it's tough. And ironically, you saw what Q plus bid. Q plus bid 2 spades on the West Hand, which is an overbid, but it does get you to the slam. So this is not a... 4 spades is a no-brainer. You're always bidding 4 spades here, but it's whether you should bid more. How many losers have you got? Now, I guarantee, for me, West has guaranteed 4 spades here. How many losers have you got in your hand? It's a 3 loser hand, yeah. So I need you to take that on board. It is a 3 loser hand. Now, the Queen of Hearts is probably worthless, but when your both opponents bid hearts, it is not completely unreasonable to place your partner with his strength in the other 3 suits. It's not going to surprise me hugely that North-South has the Ace, King and Jack of Hearts on this hand. So imagine what your partner's got. Well, give him 8 points and slam his cold as a button. Jack of Spades, King of Diamonds, Ace of Clubs. But, you know, even if he hasn't got, you know, he doesn't, I mean, the King of Diamonds and Ace of Clubs are clearly gorgeous. How weak can your partner be for his bid? He's vulnerable, he's made a double. It's a weak jump overcall. So you've got to work this out in your head. How weak can he be? Because remember, if he's only got 4 spades, he's doubling every time. The problem we've got here is your 4 spade bid here. If you had a minimum hand with 12 points in a singleton heart and 4 spades, so imagine you had this, take the King of Clubs away and the King of Spades away, but the same shape. Okay, you're going to be bidding 4 spades. I mean, that's 2 tricks less. Even if you're if you've got a singleton heart with just 5 diamonds, 3 clubs and 4 spades, I think you're bidding 4 spades on a lot. So the question here is simply, should we bid 5 spades? Okay, and I'm not sure it's unreasonable on this hand. So the jump to 5 spades is just saying, look, partner, I know it's right for us to be in at least 5. If you've got anything extra, bid 6. I mean, let's open up the hand. You'll have seen it on the teams. So your partner has just got 7 points. It's not perfect. He hasn't got the King of Diamonds, but you can see that even with the singleton diamond, you know, 6 spades has got really good chances. You know, on a club lead, you know, you may decide to do something else and play a bit more safely and try and maybe bring in the diamonds. But it looks like a good thing. You could bid 5 hearts here if it specifically agrees spades, John. Okay, if it specifically agrees spades, and that is fine. But you have control of every suit, John. And so for me, maybe a jump to 5 spades is saying, look, I've got control of everything. I don't need to cubit or do anything here. What I need you to do is bid 6 spades if you think it's right. Now, clearly, West has a massive hand. West has, once he knows there's a fit, a 7 loser hand, not just a minimum 6 points. You might think it's a minimum hand, but he's got a 5th spade. He's got a singleton. You know, he's got everything right. Now, interestingly on this hand, John, 5 hearts might be the right bid for you, because some people would play 5 spades as specifically saying, look, I think we will make a slam if you have a control in the heart suit. And so maybe 5 hearts works best for you. 5 hearts is saying, look, partner, I'm fine with hearts. I've got that controlled. You know, are you minimum or maximum? Are you minimum or better? And clearly, West has a big hand. Now, I think both West did the right thing in the teams. They doubled because they're not strong enough to bid 2 spades. Remember, 2 spades in this auction, 1 diamond, 2 hearts. 2 spades should show 10 plus points. Now, it all works well when you've got a fit. And so, of course, if you bid 2 spades with the West hand here, East, I hope, would jump to 6 spades or just bid 4 no trumps backward. You know, because East is massive if partner bids 2 spades here, and certainly could imagine a grand slam, let alone a small slam. You know, so it's an interesting hand, but obviously, actually, at both tables, one table ended up in 5 hearts doubled as a sacrifice against 4 spades, and the other one in 4 spades. It shows the... I mean, what's interesting, I mean, if it goes a diamond pass, imagine there was no opposition, a diamond pass a spade, you'd probably bid a splinter. So go a diamond, a spade, a splinter to 4 hearts. And again, West has got 7 losers. He's got a really nice hand. Once partner splinters, his hand is really nice. So I thought that was an interesting one. That's why I brought it in for you, because it's one of those hands where a lot of us won't think of bidding more than 4 spades on, and yet so we're just going to miss a slam very, very trivially, where really I think you'd want to be in the slam. It's not perfect, slam won't always make, but as you can see on the hand, it was a good one. Let's look at the bidding quiz to finish now. There you go. As usual, this is online. The answer for this: 1 heart from you, pass 1 spade, and an annoying 2 diamonds from the opponent. So it goes a heart from you. You open the bidding normally, a spade from partner, and an annoying 2 diamonds from your opponent. It's nobody vulnerable, and it's your choice of bid. And of course, these are the kind of things that come up regularly. You've got your plan, you knew what you were going to rebid, and your rebid was not going to be a reverse, was it? It was going to be a comfortable bid at the 2 level, but unfortunately South has put paid to that and made it rather uncomfortable. Yes, you can get the answer whether you're a member or not. Do try us out if you've not been a member before, and do look at all of the holidays we've got, whether it's cruises. I've got a couple of cruises coming up this week, not this week, this year, or those holidays abroad. But I hope you enjoyed that. Do send your hands in. I'd love to have your hands in, particularly if reverses have worked for you, and particularly if they get you to some good slams. And keep doubling, please. I don't want anybody using February as an excuse for not doubling. February is double annually. Okay, that's the thing to remember. It's only for 4 weeks, so let's double the doubles. Okay, all right. Thanks for your company. See you again soon.